Alright folks, welcome to another beer review, and don't worry, I've not become a emo slash scene kid. It's just my hair's out of control, it's been doused in dry shampoo, looks greasy as fuck, but I fancied doing a beer review, and yeah, got no pants on as you can hear, and that was just slapping my penis. Anyway, so today's review is pretty much a revisit, but it's a beer that I've not had for such a long time. I've reviewed it before. I've reviewed quite a few different variations of this, and it's an iconic beer from an iconic brewery, and it is, of course, Beer Geek Breakfast from Mikkeller, which is their coffee or oatmeal stout brewed with coffee. This is brewed at Lervig, 7.5% ABV, iconic artwork there from Keith Shaw. And Mikkeller have always been a brewery that is really close to my heart. From the fundamental important viewpoint of the beer, 9 times out of 10, unless it's a style that I'm not a big fan of, has just been chef's kiss. Of course, I love Keith Shaw's artwork. I am very sad, and I've collected pretty much every beer label that I've had from Mikkeller, from the US brewed stuff to the Baghaven stuff, which unfortunately they've ceased production. Then sort of like the stuff from the various other Mikkeller things. I'm just sad, lonely, pathetic, but I mean, look at that artwork. How cool is that? That'll be a great tattoo, which ironically is Henry getting a tattoo. But yeah, I mean, I've had the vanilla maple, the cacao. That was a really good one. Unfortunately, I didn't salvage the label properly. Controversial on that, because they were using that coffee which is like shat out by cats. And yeah, and then I've got a nice little pile of the labels from their bottles. I don't know, I'm a big, I like art, I like graphic design, I like illustration, and I think beer, especially now, is a great way to actually get some really interesting pieces of art, because you don't have to spend X amounts of money for limited edition prints or pieces. You can print something off, put it in a frame, and that's art. You're displaying art, you're displaying something that you like. So I think I really need to try and think of a project that I can use these Keith Shaw labels on. But yeah, Mikkeller, what a brewery. I've only been to a couple of Mikkeller bars, and they were both London, and of course, because, as I said, I'm a sad bastard, I did of course have to take beer mats. Don't judge me. It's just I'm very lacking on Mikkeller merch. In fact, I've only got one piece of merch, and that was for their beer that they did with Bunderbust. Anyway, I digress, and I'm very pretentious, I do know that. So and plus, Mikkeller, probably one of the best, if not the best, beer subscription I had. Unfortunately, because of Brexit, we're unable to get the boxes now in the UK. I think postage is ridiculously expensive. Even though, mind you, I'm not a businessman, I don't know about logistics, but you'd think when they've got, premises in the UK, they might be able to work something out. But, I'm just really upset that I can't get Mikkeller as much as I could do. And when you do find it, it does carry a bit of a price. And the most common stuff is the stuff you get in supermarkets now, which is, it's cool that Mikkeller are in our supermarkets, but I just want more Mikkeller. I want more Tuol, two breweries who I just, for all the same reasons, beer's fantastic, but they've both got really interesting brand identities. Of course, is it Kasper Ledit, who does the artwork for Tuol? You've got Keith Shaw, does the artwork for Mikkeller. I don't know. I could just go on and on and on and on and on about how much I love Mikkeller. So any time I get something related to Mikkeller, doesn't matter if it's like, I mean, I've still kept the corks from some of the Baghaven stuff I've had. I've got the Mikkeller bar passport, which is useless because I've only been to 2. I'm not giving you the 2 fingers. Would love to go to Denmark at some point, and yeah, it's just one of those things. I just want more Mikkeller, and while we were in Newcastle, we popped into Rehills, which is a fantastic bottle shop. It's a convenience store, and then it's got a bottle shop in the back. What more do you need? And yeah, and as soon as I saw this, I was like, I have to buy that again. I got the rice lager, which might be uploaded after this, or it might have been uploaded prior to this. That was nice. I didn't see any other Mikkeller beers. I probably missed some absolutely banging, like, impies or something. I don't know. But you can still get hold of them, but a lot of the stuff does command a bit of a price. But anyway, I've wasted way too much of your time. If I remember to do so, I'll put my original review of Mikkeller Beer Geek Breakfast in the description, as well as the various variants of the beer. And it is a fantastic beer. And I mean, what's another iconic kind of Danish imperial stout? Even though this isn't really imperial because it's 7.5%. I think the shake versions are the imperial ones. I mean, you've got Even More Jesus from Evil Twin. But I think both brothers involved in that debate probably want as little said about each other as possible. It's a great story though, isn't it? This, I don't know, even that like Vice documentary that they did following Mikkel around. Of course, there's been a few like moments, some controversies and things like that. And it is sad to see that pretty much the whole American side of brewing is stopping and Baghaven's stopped. So I really hope that this is a business decision, as opposed to a decision they've had to make out of necessity. But yeah, anyway, it is what it is. So should I just shut up and open this beer? 500ml can, a very generous fill. And Phil is very, very generous. I did have a really nice sort of like tasting Teku-ish glass from Mikkeller, but unfortunately a family member broke that. And I do have a cute little taster glass as well, but I thought it'd be much more suitable for an impy stout to do. Well, I keep saying impy stout, it's not an impy stout, it's a slightly higher ABV than normal. Anyway, beer in the glass then, and well, first of all, you can clearly tell that I've not used this glass for a while because of the which is clearly dust particles at the bottom. But yeah, very, very nice on the eye. Pretty much jet black with a nice dark tan looking head. Certainly looks the part. I'm sure there's something wrong with this camera because it does not focus as well as it usually does. Maybe it's because I've got a light source directly behind me which is interfering with it. I do need to get a proper setup. I've got a nice looking camera. I mean, you don't need to see me in any higher definition than you already do, or already did in the first place, because let's face it, I'm not exactly the prettiest of paintings. More like a psycho, eccentric artist who's painted just scribbles with shit. Anyway, beer in the glass then, looking very nice. On the nose. And it packs a big punch, it really, really does. Definitely get that coffee. There's almost like a marzipan sort of aroma. Melted chocolate, wafer biscuits. There's a bit of cinnamon coming through. Nice, gentle, roasty malt aroma. Man, that smells good. It smells not in like an ABV sense, but it smells like it's a much stronger stout than a 7.5%. Almost has a bit of like a peated, like whiskey barrel sort of character. Very, very interesting. Smells wonderful. Wouldn't that be funny if I just vomited on screen? On camera, not on screen. I do vomit on screens, but there's usually someone lying underneath so they get a full view. But the less we talk about my other websites, the better. Oh man, that smells so good. Let's just give it a taste and shut up. Cheers. Interesting. Very, very interesting. It's not what you expect from the nose. And I'd imagine this might come from whatever sort of coffee or coffee bean that they've used. But there's a little bit of a like salinic, savoury element. I mean, earthiness from coffee beans, you expect that. Coffee only really sort of like smells like coffee and tastes like coffee once it's ground, once it's been brewed. But the wonderful thing about coffee is you can get so many flavours that you never associate with coffee. So if you're getting into coffee and you read like tasting notes of some coffee beans you bought, it's like citrus and cacao. You know, like, and like elderflower. You know what I mean? It's amazing, isn't it? But then again, it's a natural product. So of course, depending on where it's grown, depending on where it's sourced, how it's sourced, what the climate's like, terroir, you are going to get some really vastly different flavours, and that's the beauty of like coffee and beer. I'm a big lover of coffee in beer. In fact, this is one of them, but there was about 3 or 4 other beers that I picked up while I was in New York, fuck off, Newcastle, that have coffee in them. I just love coffee and beer, both individually, but also both at the same time. And you definitely get the coffee bean character of this, as opposed to taking a swig of a freshly ground coffee. Although if you've got freshly ground and you've used some interesting beans, you are going to get something that just tastes more than just coffee. Do you know what I mean? I try and come across as eloquent and intelligent, but I don't half, when I'm listening to myself as I'm speaking, think you sound like an utter twat. Because I am a twat, but I own my twatterdom, much like my hipsterdom. Obviously, 7.5% ABV beer. Body's not exactly massive. I wasn't expecting it to be. It's got quite a bitter aftertaste. There's like this slight element of harshness with some of the varying flavours and characteristics on the journey of drinking the beer, which makes it very, very interesting. Like, I'm getting a fuck ton of, not a lot, not a little, a fuck ton of like savoury, slightly salted licorice. But then I'm getting some slight tangy forest fruit characters, almost like a gatto. Why didn't I just say gatto instead of gatto? I'm trying to sound all French and shit. That is very, very good. But I'm drinking this now and I can see why. I remember gushing over the imperial version of this with a bit more of a thicker, decadent body. I can't remember which one it was. I think it was this is one of the creamiest imperial stouts that I've ever had, and it was absolutely wonderful. Mikkeller really know how to make good dark beers in general. When I was part of the Mikkeller Beer Club, one of the beers that I got was like a 750ml bottle of Chipotle Porter, and I was like, God, that's gonna be a task to drink that on my own. But I did it, and I enjoyed it, didn't regret it, and yeah, just Mikkeller, man. I just love Mikkeller. Do you know what I mean? They're like probably up there as one of my favourite all-time breweries. But yeah, I'm still getting like I can't think of what spirit it would be. Almost like a spiced rum barrel. But I don't think this has even remotely touched a barrel. Yeah, very, very nice. Not what I remember it being. There is like a black coffee character there, but I'd say the coffee element is more along the lines of those like earthy, like robust, like raw coffee bean. Wouldn't be able to tell you what variety or which country it is. I could barely, do that with hops. So yeah, it's really good, and I'm just glad. Even though it's 7.5%, it is going down and it's warming me up. It's like what the stout would have been like 10 years ago. Do you know what I mean? But now they're just, and don't get me wrong, I really like them, but a lot of them are like, let's just throw this. Let's have this themed stout and just go like balls to the wall. With whatever adjuncts, flavourings you could muster. But it's damn good. And if you do see a can of it, or any of the other variants of Beer Geek breakfast, highly, highly recommended. Or the Beer Geek, I should say. Not Beer Geek breakfast. This is this beer. But Beer Geek is the stout, and I'm starting to bore. I'm fucking boring myself here, so I'm going to cut this video off now. Thank you for bearing with me while I fanboyed a little bit over Mikkeller. I'm sure there's people who've got like a pile of, well, like boxes of labels and Mikkeller paraphernalia. I mean, one of my favourite Instagram pages is, I'm not sure if it's guy or a girl who... guy or a girl? What am I in fucking West Side Story? There's a Instagram page where all it is photographs of glasses from like all of the like the festivals, bars, glasses that were made to celebrate like releases and things like that, and it's just wonderful, and it really makes my glass cabinet look like a charity shop shelf. But yeah, Beer Geek breakfast, really nice to revisit it. I know this really wasn't a review, it's just an excuse for me to wank off to the sound of my own voice and to gush about Mikkeller. But if you've got any ideas of what I could do or what I could make with all of these labels, then let me know. I've got an idea where I'll get like a big picture frame from IKEA or something, and then just get like a backing card to the size of the frame and make like a, I don't know, not like a collage where it's just all over the place, but like just the labels stuck together on like in columns and rows with like spaces in between. It'll be an absolute bugger to make sure every like line in between the labels is the same size and around the edge, but I think that'd be really good. I might do that. Then again, I need to get a massive frame for me Dawn of the Dead poster print that I got, which is probably going to be falling apart in the poster tube, but that's for me to worry about. You just look after yourself like you always do, and don't hit me with the belt, mummy. Anyway, we won't talk about my past. It's terrible to make jokes like that. Fucking hell. Anyway, thank you for watching. If you've tried this beer or any other Beer Geek stouts, then let me know your thoughts, opinions down below. I'm sure I did have a Mikkeller playlist, which will have lots of videos not included. So I'll just bombard the description box with Mikkeller related shenanigans. And are you a fan of Mikkeller? I keep thinking I'm saying the name Nicola, but I'm not. I'm saying Mikkeller. Mikkeller, not Mikkeller. You can say how you want. Verdant, Verdant, Sonoma, Sonoma. The old me would have stopped this video and started again, but I just cannot be fucked. And I need to stop swearing as much because YouTube doesn't like foul language. But you can happily put videos of two blokes having a fight in a field and not get any sort of repercussions at all, can you, Decker? Anyway, cheers for watching. You all take care, stay safe, and I don't know, just go away.